So he ran himself over chasing a jack of potato.
No way.
He did.
But the chicken was good.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that was great, mate. Yeah, should we do it?
Yeah.
You
Get
wanna
on
do
there.
it? Come on, let's do it. Oh. Oh, yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Red Ven TV. It is the daily Liverpool fan interactive show. I am your host this evening, Chris Pajak. Producer Joe, joins me from the production suite. There he is. What a beautiful man. And as you can see, he's tidied up in his street, in his room. He's tidied up. It's
I've been listening to
absolutely
the
fantastic.
feedback.
What are you saying, man?
I've been listening to the feedback.
What's the feedback
I've
saying, Joe?
I've tidied up for you.
Yeah. It's right, Joe, lad. In your face, world. We've got a massive show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking Moises, Caicedo, Mohammed Kudus, Sofran Amrabat, Cody Gakpo, Edwards potentially to Manchester United, and naming rights on the Anfield Road stand as well. What more could you want from a near hour-long Liverpool show? With me, Chris Pajak, and in the know, Joe. And if you know, you're in the know. And if you don't, you didn't watch the worst watch-along stream we've ever done. It's that simple. But we're here to talk Moises Caicedo to start off with. Let's have a little look at the player before we get into some of the news stories. So what do we know about him so far? He's 21 years old. He's from Santo Domingo. He is a central midfielder and he's a current international for Ecuador, of course. Plays in central midfield for, I know, it's Brighton and Hove Albion. So where are the links coming from? Well, first of all, Florian Plettenberg over on Twitter has said, hashtag Caicedo. Man U is planning to enter the race. The bosses are highly interested. Also on the list, Liverpool, next to Bellingham, and spotted by many other top clubs. Teammates say he's an exceptional player and character. Brighton hopes that he will stay beyond 2023. Brighton hopes he'll stay beyond 2023. Let's hope that he doesn't, because I think this is a player that most Liverpool fans know. I think, for me, he is a combative midfield player. And one of the things that I really like about him is the way that he wins the ball back in the centre of the park. And, he likes to press high up the field. Of course, Brighton play a good system, have done for a couple of years now, although the change of manager hasn't really affected that, to be fair. The one thing that I love about him more than anything is how, you remember how Adam Lallana used to jump and win the ball from behind somebody, and Bobby Firmino was able to do it at times. He never gives up on a play, does he? He never gives up on trying to win the ball back, and it's that ability to get round somebody's body and nip the ball away in the centre midfield area. It catches people by surprise because he's coming at them from a different angle than we normally see centre midfielders take. Normally it's very much the fella in front of you is going to tackle, but because he never gives up on it, he likes to come round, he likes to win that ball back with his left foot and stuff like that. So a player who I think could fit into this Liverpool system very, very well. One thing I would say, I suppose, is that with Caicedo, it's very much being rumoured at the moment like it's Jude Bellingham, and if we don't get Jude Bellingham, it's Caicedo. And I think for me that's a little bit disappointing. I think we need multiple bodies in the centre of the park for next season. I think, Jude Bellingham is obviously the player that I think every Liverpool fan wants, and I'm sure every fan of every big club all the way around the world would like to see Jude Bellingham at their club as well. In fact, I was just on the Echo. It'll take me a little while to find this, but I saw this earlier on today on their news feed. In fact, I've got it up on my screen. No, I haven't at all. Ignore me. It's much further back because the Echo. There we go. Right, Jude Bellingham next club odds. So on one betting site, they had Liverpool as Jude Bellingham's next destination 2-1. Manchester City 5-2, United 9-2, Madrid 6-1, Arsenal 8-1, Chelsea 10-1, PSG 12-1, Tottenham 20-1. Quite interesting. I thought that Liverpool were the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. Obviously, we've probably made the most noise in terms of a fan base, and obviously the overtures of Jurgen Klopp as well. Trying to get Jude Bellingham into the club means it's probably from a business standpoint for the betting companies, maybe they're looking at it and going, well, if they're talking about it and they've been talking about him and they're continuing to talk about him, they've probably put them as favourite. Now, when it gets closer to crunch time, the betting companies don't often get these things wrong. But we're still away from January. We're still away from probably when Jude Bellingham would move, which I'd guess would be most likely in the summer. So can we take it right now with a pinch of salt? We should take it with a pinch of salt, absolutely. One of the things I did getting back onto Caicedo, though, was I wanted to look at what he would look like against a Liverpool player. So I've used one of my stats apps, Viz app, for this one. And we'll get into some of the comments. Let me know your thoughts as well, by the way. I just glanced at my laptop screen and just saw Paul's comment, which was fantastic, by the way. We'll get to the comments a little bit later. I'm going to start with Jordan Henderson versus Moises Caicedo, because I thought, you know what? Here's a player, and I've done this based on the 2022-23 season, so this season. And because Caicedo plays in the Premier League, we're looking at the percentile of centre mids in the top 5 leagues, but against 2 players who are playing in the Premier League. I thought it might be quite good to look at. And as you can see right now, Henderson is top 11 percentile in touches, nowhere near in tackles attempted, although I wouldn't say that Caicedo's there either. Interceptions, they're there or thereabouts. Passing percentage, Hendo's a lot less. Progressive passes, Hendo's a lot more. Progressive carries, Hendo's a lot more. Progressive distance, Hendo's a lot more. Expected threat generated, Hendo's coming out better. Shot creating actions, much more shots created. Successful box entries, Hendo again. Shots, Hendo again. In terms of percentile, he's not had 89 box entries, but he is in the top 11 percentile of centre midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues, whereas top 21 percentile would be Moises Caicedo. And expected goal chain, he's better as well, Jordan Henderson, and the recoveries in the opposition half. Now, it's not a fair reflection, and I understand that, because Jordan Henderson's playing in a better side than Moises Caicedo, even though Liverpool haven't been anywhere near as good as recently. But this is the thing, when we're comparing 2 players, I think sometimes we get lost in the fact that we've got players here that we can compare them to. And that's why I thought it was quite interesting to compare who I think, a player in Jordan Henderson who I think is past his best, and I think it's fair to say that, versus a lad who we all want to sign, or most of us want to sign. I certainly do like the looks of Caicedo, because I do think that Caicedo, is that right? I don't know. I don't care, to be quite honest with you. I do think that he will be improved if we buy him under Jurgen Klopp. So I'm going to compare him next to Kudus from Ajax, another centre midfielder. We'll be talking about him very shortly as well. Now, again, these are percentile ranks, and you can see there that Caicedo comes out against Kudus, but Kudus, to him, does very, very well in terms of expected goals per 90 and shots per 90, dribbles per 90. So to give you an overview, maybe you'd look at that and go, Kudus is a more attacking player, and maybe more defensive minded would be Caicedo. Because you can see there in the aerial duels, the defensive duels, etc., that actually Caicedo isn't coming out quite as well as Kudus. We'll move on then, and we'll just take a little look at Kudus, because obviously right now he's 22 years old again. And another thing that I find quite fascinating about these guys is that they're of that age where you'd expect Liverpool want to say, do, not say, do, whatever, Paul. I don't care, mate. I say what I say because I can't say what I'm supposed to say, and it's that simple. You can see here Kudus, again, as we've sort of alluded to there, he's more of an attacking midfielder, plays obviously for Ajax, scored against us, didn't he, this season in the Champions League. And let's get over to an article then. Fabrizio Romano names Liverpool's top midfield target amid fresh transfer speculation. Liverpool are still making Borussia Dortmund star Jude Bellingham their top transfer target in midfield, despite recent links with Ajax starlet Mohammed Kudus as well. That's according to Fabrizio Romano in his daily briefing exclusively for Court Offside. So, from my understanding of this, he does an email shot that goes out daily. forecourt offside where he puts his transfer expertise into it and stuff. So he's explained that Everton showed interest last summer. Bellingham, he goes on to say, is an exciting young talent who is well known to all the top clubs, but Kudus also seems worth keeping an eye on after making a real impression for Ajax this season. If Liverpool end up signing more than one midfielder, which might not be such a bad idea, they could surely do well to snap up Kudus as well as Jude Bellingham. So I'm going to get over there into some of the comments and stuff now. It's announced Kudus, says Jono. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. So let's have a look at this one then from Jono again. Bellingham, Caicedo would be boss. They're young, bring energy and have the legs to play in a Klopp field, in a Klopp team. LFC Spectre as well. Is that man Payda coming for Ian Graham's job at the club? You know what? I sort of put this together about 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30, something like that. I just thought, you know what I can do? I can look at stats and I can show people stats, and why not? It's better than just opinion, I think, isn't it? Looking at you, Paul. Looking at you, Steve. So there we go. Rice played well in England with Hendo. What I found really interesting about that game, nothing. Apart from the fact that they started to talk second half about Jordan Henderson again. You know, we're talking about midfielders now. We can talk about Jordan Henderson. You've sparked this conversation, Patrick. And one of the things there is that, you know, it was them talking about how much he spoke during the game. You could hear him all the time. And I know it's not what you do. It's not him doing stuff with the ball at his feet, and it doesn't excite players in, excite fans in quite the same way as somebody who's absolutely unbelievable all the time with the ball at the feet. But having a leader in your side is massively important. When you are putting a team together, having a leader like Jordan Henderson is important, and I think England probably got the benefit of having Jordan Henderson in their side tonight, and him talking to your Declan Rice, your Jude Bellinghams. He's still got things that he can teach players. Steven Gerrard, at 34 years old, was in the side. He was still brilliant, of course he was, but he was teaching players, he was talking to them. His legs might not have been there in quite the same way, but he understood the game, he saw the game better than anybody else on the football field, and that's important. So although I want Jude Bellingham and I want maybe Caicedo at Liverpool or Kudus, whoever it is, you still want someone there to teach them the ropes, and that's massively important as well. And actually, you know, we were joking around about it on the podcast earlier on today about how, Jordan Henderson might be actually recruiting his replacements. Playing with Jordan Henderson would be a boss thing for anybody. You know, he's won everything. You know, we might think of him, well, he's past his best and stuff like that. But if you're a young up-and-coming midfielder, having someone like him in your side, being able to teach you the ropes, who's been there, done it and won it, is absolutely a great thing. I've got a super chat here from Hitchin. Baz, thank you so much. Chris, covering it with a blanket isn't tidying up. My missus taught me that. How's it? Was it just covered with a blanket, Joe?
No, I don't know what he's talking about.
You've not... Oh, Joe. Put that back on. You've not tidied up. You've not even... Mic drop. You've not even fucking put the blanket up well. This is highly disappointing. Highly disappointing, Joe. You knew that everyone was going to be on it. You knew everybody was going to be talking about it, and you've done a proper shitty job, as always, Joe, with tidying up. Absolutely pathetic, my friend. Absolutely pathetic. LFC Joe there, LFC Spectre, sorry. Oh, Joe, mic drop.
It's fixed. It's tidy.
I like this star thing, by the way. I can pin messages, which is great. I'm going to have to start doing that with the super chats. Paul, stay. If you're watching, you can pin the messages and then you can go back to them. So if it's not an appropriate time to talk about something, then it could be later on. Scott T's asking us, Paige, can the Red Men invest in a green screen for Joe? We had a green screen on the wall in there, but it was the wrong wall. I don't think we've got a green screen on the wall in there anymore. And ultimately, no. Joe can just fucking tidy the room up. Jesus Christ.
Well, also, I'd be afraid that people were going to put me in some situations.
Compromising situations. Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Even more compromising than the ones I actually get in.
Steve O'Hare, one of our Discords, Club Legends, says Joe's room looks like where baby Jesus was born. Absolutely. Most Ali, Motos Ali says, who's replacing Ward? We should get Edwards back. We'll talk a little bit about Edwards actually later on in the show. Quite looking forward to doing this because he's obviously been linked to Manchester United, so we're going to talk a little bit about that later on, as I say. We also I did a show on Red Men Plus with Josh Williams, Distance Covered, talking about that side of things. It is a good 45 minute show, and it's so interesting. It's an expert insight. Josh is a senior writer at Reach PLC, journalist now a days, and he's absolutely brilliant on this side of the game. And I think it's the side sometimes that, look, we're talking about transfers tonight, we're all here, we all want to know exactly who's going to be the next shiny new player that comes into Liverpool Football Club, but actually just as important as the players on the pitch are the people who are deciding who to buy the players. In fact, you know, over the 30 years of Premier League football or whatever, you might say that as soon as we got that right, we went up the league. So it is important, and it's a massively interesting show. I'm sure anybody in the club legends who's watched it will be able to say that as well. So yeah, honestly, mate, absolute game changer. Ooh, star pins, honestly, absolute game changer. It's just brilliant. I didn't know you could do it. I did it by accident before. And I was like, oh, you can pin them. And then it just stays at the top. And you can click them and you can show them a little bit later. Anfield, legendary. Liverpool Anfield legendary. We will pay the 120 million and get Jude and dominate for years with that special player. That's the hope, isn't it? You know, like, answer this for me, everybody in the chat, please. How massively disappointed will you be if Jude Bellingham goes to Manchester City or Manchester United or anywhere, actually, Real Madrid, that isn't Liverpool? Because, you know, I could get over the Mbappe stuff personally because I don't think in my heart of heart I ever truly believed we were going to sign Kylian Mbappe because wage structure, money, etc., etc. But Jude Bellingham felt close. Jude Bellingham felt like this is the guy that we've kind of waited on, and if you're going to spend £100 million on a player, then let it be him type of thing. I never really thought we were in for Haaland. I don't think we ever really were, although we obviously harboured an interest because one of the best players in the world. Mbappe was just too out of reach. Bellingham's always felt like someone that we could stretch for. Bellingham's always felt like, you know, wages-wise, he's not going to be on £500,000 a week or whatever it is. I don't know how much Mbappe's on. I'm freewheeling here. But yeah, I'd be so gutted if we didn't get him because it did really feel like we were going to. So, SS, very, 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 very disappointed. Stephen Ryder, hello Steve, you okay mate? Bellingham was made for Liverpool. If he goes elsewhere, it will break me. I think that's how he typed it, to be honest with you. I think that's exactly how he typed it. I will be dead inside if we didn't get Bellingham. I never thought we were getting Mbappe. I believe for months we are getting Bellingham. Let me just read that again, Jono. I will be dead inside if we didn't get Bellingham. I never thought we were getting Mbappe. I believe for months we are getting Bellingham. And Rachel Todd. Hi, Rach. Very disappointed. Yeah, that's how you wrote that. Sorry. Scott T. Paige, I could be very disappointed, to be honest. But there's been plenty that have been teased, and we got someone else. Yeah, I like it. I like doing accents for subscribers, actually. M05. It would be horrible, especially if in England. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't take the piss out of people. X_Z channel. Bellingham can play DM, CM, and AM. Yeah, I love it. I will be dead inside. I'm just doing the same voice now. This is ridiculous. What else have we got here? Melanator 1. Could you guys do a Championship Manager 102 season again with the new updates? You'll have to ask Paul. He's in the chat. Paul, are we going to do a CMO 102? It's incredibly difficult for us to do because we don't have the time like we did 7 years ago. I was thinking, I was watching these two shows over the last couple of nights with Paul and Steer. I really enjoyed doing both of them, by the way, watching both of them. But I was kind of thinking to myself, how do they keep clicking the wrong fucking comment, the idiots? And then now it's like, just as you go to click a comment, it goes, nah, shoots them all up. Like, look, when I'm about to press a comment, can you guys just do me a favour? Not press enter on your keyboards. Look, I'm about to do it now. Nobody enter a comment. Oh, this is coming back to bite him on the arse. Yeah, good. Okay. Cautiously optimistic Ghanaian. Sadly, we only know 20% at best of what happens behind the scenes. Paper talk, that's says it's done, worries me. This is such a great point, actually, cautiously optimistic Ghanaian. Because I think for me, like, and I've said this so many times over the years, we are absolutely living in a complete grey area as a football fan, and we grasp onto absolutely anything that we can get our hands on with regards to news to our football club. I remember Paul saying to me, maybe, it was before Redmen, I think, and he's probably repeated that over the years. It must have been 15, 20 years ago, him saying, maybe it was when Benitez was there actually as the manager, maybe sort of 2008, 2009 times, and I'd love to just have some money to give them, like 20 million quid. Obviously, he'd love 20 million quid. And what he was saying basically is, all I'd want to do is give them the money and be privy to the conversations. And it was as true then as it is true now for Liverpool fans. That's exactly what you want. What are you on about now, lad? Paybridge. Padgebridge. Don't get that fucking started. Jesus Christ. What else have we got? Oh, they're moving on me again. They're moving on me. I don't like it. We've got more news stories. Should we do more news stories, or we just chat absolute wham for the entire hour? We're 21 minutes in already. This is so much better than the England stream. Actually, me too. The sooner it's over, the better. Can't stand it. It says butter pants. That's kind of like, I think, what my wife says. True's here on Redmen TV late at night. Look at this. Kieran Orr. He's reminding me. That's a lovely jumper you have there, Mr. Pajak. Do you want me to go and do your spin? I'll go and do your spin at the subscriber board. I'm not going over to the subscriber board. I'm just going over to the subscriber board, if you know what I mean. I forgot I could talk when I was walking. In your face, world. Right. I think I knew that this was going to happen at some point during this show. Thank you, Kieran. Really appreciate that one, my friend. We're going to talk a little bit. Shall we do it now? Shall we do more news stories? Joe needs a jumper. Patrick Westmore, you're right. He absolutely does. He needs a jumper.
Chris, before we move on.
Yes, Joe.
Just remembered.
Yes, Joe.
My job from yesterday was to ask you a question.
Oh, it was, Joe.
And that question was...
Yes, Joe.
Why have you been wearing an Everton shirt online?
I never wore an Everton shirt online. It's photoshopped.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, it's completely real. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That came up. It was on. I saw it on Twitter over the weekend. I think it was. Yeah. So if you don't know the story, fucking hell, I'm so absolutely bored of saying this. My brother is an Everton fan. We had a bet years ago. It was what they call, I believe, the AJ Derby. And the idea was, whoever won that derby, the other person had to wear the other team's shirt for the next derby. So they won the derby, and a few months later, when Liverpool played, I had to wear the Everton shirt during the derby. Now, back then, me and Paul used to go to the pubs if we were off work. And I decided that I couldn't go to a pub dressed in an Everton shirt, but I'm a man of my word, and I take that very seriously. And therefore, I did wear the Everton shirt while watching the next derby. That photograph was taken outside Paul's house, his mum and dad's old house. People seem to think about the Everton shirt. I think that's not the most embarrassing part of that photograph for me. It's the fact that I've got a ciggy in one hand, and it's the fact that I'm wearing stonewash flared jeans. That's the embarrassing part. Like, thankfully, you can't see the flared part of those jeans. The stonewash was bad enough. Trust me on that one. The stonewash was bad enough. But yeah, It is. Look, you make a bet. It was a bad bet to make. It really was. It was a terrible bet to make. But I made the bet. And as a man of my word, I had to follow through with it. I haven't made any other bets on derbies with him since then. I'll be fair. I'll be brutally honest with you. The mad thing is, though, is how much traction it seems to get online. And every, few months, somebody tweets it and goes, explain yourself. And it's getting to the point where I might just make it my pin tweet. Because it's just fucking boring to me. It was a bet. It was put online by my brother, I think in 2012 time. Ped from Toffee TV picked it up. And from then, it's gone from Everton fans to Liverpool fans. And that's kind of how it all started. So I hope I've answered the question. I've given you the honest answer. If you choose to disregard that and think that it's me being an Everton fan, great, fine.
So it's not because you're actually an Everton fan, but John Henry pays you to be a Liverpool fan.
No, it's not, unfortunately, because of that, and I can't get into any discord with anybody who thinks like that because blitz. But it is that's the truth of the matter. What do you want to do? I can't do anything more about it. Should we hit the subscriber board? Should we have a little geography lesson before we come back to talk Sofian Amrabat, Cody Gakpo, all names of players that I will butcher. We're going now. Oh, Paul did this so well. We're going over there. What I want to do is time that up with my arm. We're going over there like that. See? Oh, I didn't kick the light. Beautiful. Right, Joe. Yeah. I need to find the names of the people.
Okay.
I've just found out some good news. Well, I checked my phone there. That was pretty good. So we are going to put some fellas on the board. Johnny English 91 is the first name on the board. Now, I said to the lads before that I wasn't going to do any geography stuff on here. I have had conversations with Joe. I've not Googled anything, but I did know where each of the countries were, which was my main concern, to be honest with you. So Johnny English 91 is from Kawasaki, Japan. Now I know that Japan is here. I don't know where Kawasaki, Japan is. But I said this to Joe before, I guessed it was there. So is that about right, Joe?
Yeah, right up on the coast.
Up or down?
Like where you are and then just right.
Like that? Oh, really?
Yeah. Down slightly, maybe.
Oh, down slightly?
Yep.
Okay. The little nubbin. Now, I don't know anything about Kawasaki, but I'm assuming that is where they make the motorbikes.
Well, there's something in the Wirral called Kawasaki.
Is there?
Yeah.
Right. Moet K is from Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. I thought this one would be dead fucking easy. I was there like a couple of months ago with Paul. And, right, America's here. Canada sort of ends here. I'm assuming that LA, San Fran and all that around here. I'm going to go with about
you're
there.
Just way too high.
Way too high. There?
Down even more.
Really?
Yeah.
There?
Around there, yeah.
God damn it. See, the problem is, from my geography, England was much smaller on the map. So on the flight path, Paul's fucked it up because the flight path now is like, it's too much. It's too much. It's basically all England's fault being so big. That's what I'm saying. And the United Kingdom. Right, Paul J, 470, Perth, Australia. This is Australia. I'm comfortable that this is Australia.
Oh, I was exactly right before when we
Were
spoke
you?
about it. Yeah,
like
yeah.
Joe said it was Western Australia. I had no fucking clue whatsoever. Yeah. Is it here?
Yeah.
On the coast?
Yeah.
That's where you said.
Hang on.
Right, Canada. That's got to be like up here somewhere. And it's FAM4 from Richmond, Canada. So Canada's like here, isn't it? And then there's a bit of America up here.
Oh God, Chris.
Where the fucking hell is Richmond, Canada?
Man. It's right on the border. So good luck.
Of America?
Yeah.
In the middle or to the...
No, West Coast.
Never eat shredded wheat, right sounds, okay?
It's directly across the lake from that bit sticking out.
That bit... What lake?
So that bit that's sticking out.
This bit?
Yeah. It's directly across from that lake.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they make sausages there?
I hope so.
Terrible sausages, them Richmonds, by the way.
The vegan ones are good.
Are they though?
Yeah.
They've probably got more meat in them than the fucking proper ones. Jer Pamplona, Spain. Spain's here. There's Portugal. Pamplona? Is that even a real place?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
So
It's got to be central Spain.
That's right. It's north east, right next to the border of France.
Oh, for God's sakes. Right. Here?
Yeah. Bit up, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, God. Up here?
Yeah. Right near Bilbao.
Okay. So that's it. There we go. We've updated some of them. We're going to be updating more, I'm told, over the course of the next few days. We're still waiting for the pins and stuff. But now it's time for me to merrily walk back over to my seat. Right, here we go. It's back onto the news. Right. Have we had any YouTube members today? Because this board's looking particularly blank, isn't it?
No.
I'm going to give you time to get yourselves a YouTube member, to be honest with you. We're going to have a little break right now. So, yeah, be back very, very shortly.
Hey everyone, we've got a great deal for you this week. Black Friday is gone, but it is Cyber Monday week. So if you sign up to Red Men Plus as a yearly club captain and enter the code Cyber Monday, all one word in capitals, you'll get 30% off. So come and get some amazing Red Men content for 30% off. It works out saving you about 15 quid. So yeah, redmenplus.com, sign up as a yearly club captain, enter the code Cyber Monday and come and get some amazing Liverpool content in your eyes and in your ears.
Hey, welcome back. How would someone get a pin on that board, Chris? I've no idea, Steve, to be honest with you. I think they have to become a club captain or a club legend at redmenplus.com. And if you do, you'll get a pin on that board, my friend. Trust me. And we've got it set up now so that we can actually do that really easily for anybody who signs up right now. And don't worry about it. We've got a Cyber Monday thing going on, haven't we? You've just seen that. So get over there. Get yourself signed up. Get yourself a good discount as well. I know it's not Cyber Monday. The branding was terrible. But, you know, it used to be Cyber Monday. And we couldn't be arsed changing the code. But it's fine. Next, we're going to talk about Sofyan Amrabat, who is a defensive midfielder. And he is, how old is he? 26-year-old. So this is something that obviously we were linked with. I'm going to just show you the article first and foremost. So this is from sportswitness.co.uk. So take it with a pinch of salt, trust me. Well, Liverpool wages offer for a player would be mind-boggling. Wrexham pitcher only paid 1.8 million a year now. Only paid 1.8 million a year now. Wow. Liverpool have become the latest club to come forward for Fiorentina's Sofyan Amrabat. That's according to Corriere dello Sport, who say the midfielder's fine displays for the Serie A side this season, also for Monaco at the 2022 World Cup, have drawn attention from top clubs around Europe. Particular attention needs to be paid to the Premier League, where his name has been doing the rounds for a year. You can tell this has been taken from a translated website at some point. Their title states, everyone wants Amrabat, and within the report, only Liverpool and Tottenham are tagged. The newspaper questions what the 26-year-old will do if the Reds were to draw an offer to acquire a signature. It is claimed the figure at stake are mind-boggling compared to the 1.8 million per year he receives at the Italian club. A move to Anfield will allow Amrabat to play in the Champions League, which Fiorentina cannot offer this season. So I did my due diligence. Of course I did my due diligence. And I looked at, obviously this is an attacking player or a midfielder with attacking intent, Kudus versus Amrabat. And as you can see there, Kudus comes out much better on the attacking stats compared to Amrabat, but Amrabat comes out better on the defensive duels, the aerial duels and all that type of stuff. As far as passes go, it's roughly similar. But what I wanted to do then was actually take a look at what Amrabat would look like against Fabinho. So again, this is top 5 European leagues. So Fabinho comes out much better in 3 of the categories, similar but better in 1 of the categories, and Amrabat is much better in quite a lot of the categories, actually, considering Amrabat's more of a defensive-minded midfielder. Probably better to take a look at Fabinho. And you can see there in his progressive carries, his progressive passing, progressive passing percentage and passing percentage, he is in very, very high percentiles of defensive midfielders, which is what we're looking at here. Compared to Fabinho. In fact, in progressive passes, then you're looking at 90th, so top 10 percentile, whereas Fabinho is like 56 percentile stuff. Tackle percentage is much higher and stuff like that, although Fabinho is much more involved in the XG build-up and stuff. I think that looks really good on paper for Sofiane Amrabat. I think when you look at the stats there and you look at a player that we're trying to maybe back up or even replace in the future, then Amrabat actually statistically is probably a better comparison with Fabinho than with the likes of Kudus as well. I'll take what Sport Witness have said with a pinch of salt, of course, but for completeness sake, I had to look at Jordan Henderson versus Jude Bellingham. So spoilers, Joe's already on the screen, but like, look at the state of Jude Bellingham there, by the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, Hendo comes up pretty well against Jude Bellingham. This is centre midfielders in the top 5 leagues this season, but recoveries in the opposition half, I mean, that's pressing, isn't it? Top 7 percentile. Interceptions, top 16 percentile. Tackles attempted, so much better. Touches, similar. XG change, similar. Shots, Jude Bellingham, much higher. Successful box entries, virtually the same. Shot creating actions, Hendo. Expected threat generated, Hendo. Progressive distance, Hendo. Progressive carries, Jude. Similar in progressive passes and passing percentage. Like, again, it goes back to what I was talking about at the sort of start of the show, really, doesn't it? Is, you know, for me, yes, Jude Bellingham's a thing, but actually Hendo's output on stats is not too bad, is it? Considering this is a player who I think most Liverpool fans have probably say is kind of past it. But I tell you what, I mean, Jude Bellingham, man, he shows up on stats, he shows up on the eye test. It's just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We need to sign him. We need to sign him. We need to sign another couple of midfielders. I think that's what we're all here to. Let's have a little look at this. Last one to like the stream is a bad fridge. Absolutely brilliant. Oh no, look at this board. It's so shiny and white. We need to get some names on here, guys. Come on. Sports Witless. Am I right? You are indeed right, mate. That's why you paid the big bucks, buddy. Right, let's have a little look at this then. Do you have more likes than Steve last night? I have no idea, to be honest with you. YouTube's got a bit of a problem at the moment, actually, which is it's massively disappointing because we're just not getting anywhere near as many viewers as we should be. I think it's just not pushing out to subscribers, which is massively disappointing, to be perfectly honest with you. Because we've obviously launched this new show, we were looking at the stats on this as to whether to keep the show going if it's something that people want. But we can't do that based off the fact that we're just not getting anywhere near as many views as we would normally get when we do something like this. It's massively disappointing. What it will mean for you guys is that we're going to extend the test for much longer. The idea for this was to run it through the World Cup and see how it goes. If we like it and we're enjoying it, spoilers, I'm enjoying it so far. You know, I'm 40 minutes into my first one. I'm enjoying it. But the more comments, the more interaction. That's the whole point of this show, isn't it? Is that we know that broadcast television is one way. We wanted to come up with a show that is much more, as much about us as it is about you guys. And I think that's important because you guys are the people who've given us this platform to talk about Liverpool. You guys are the ones who've enabled us to, you know, be able to do this for our life. And it's fucking boss and we owe you something. So if we can, you know, get you guys more involved into this, then why wouldn't we? I mean, everybody's got a say, everybody's got a voice, everybody's got an opinion on Liverpool. What I say is, for the most part, a load of shit. What me and my mates say is, for the most part, just opinion pieces. It's great to see and hear other people's opinions. And if one day it means, you know what, you guys come in and start doing shows with us and stuff like that because we like the cut of your jib, then fucking brilliant. It's what we've got going on Red Men Plus. We've had this Club Legends show going on there where we're really proud of the fact that our club legends have been able to get together and produce a show for us, but also for the people who watch it. It's a community. This is what we want out of it. So this is part of why we wanted to do this show. We wanted to give something back for you guys and have you guys more of a part in what we're doing. And you know, that's why Joe's worked incredibly hard to make sure that we can get those comments on the screen. And I know Paul talked about it the other night, is that it was easy for the people who are using StreamYard for absolutely everything and doing Zooms and one-man shows, but it's completely different for us. So Joe's done brilliantly to even get this all set up. We're going to finish off with the transfer talk a little bit. Now, I'm going to... In fact, should we do Cody Gakpo? I'm not 100% sure. I want to get my teeth into this story, actually. So, again, pinch of salt territory, of course. Sources, says footballinsider247.com, Man United are well placed to agree a deal with Michael Edwards regardless of potential takeover. Sources have told Football Insider. Football Insider understands the United remain well on course to finalise terms with Edwards and will wait until next summer for him to join. Talks are set to advance regardless of the growing uncertainty behind the scenes at the club. United announced this week they're up for sale, blah, blah, blah. Now, this, I think, is terrible news for Liverpool. If it's true, of course. We are in very much Salt Bay territory here. But this is one of the men, one of the team of people who has built Liverpool into what we are today in Michael Edwards. Everybody knows. We've talked about it for years, haven't we? We've kind of messed around about it, build him a statue and all that type of stuff. But I think sometimes it can get lost in it that he actually was unbelievable at Liverpool in his job. And, you know, he became a bit of a rock star of that world, didn't he? As a sporting director. Being able to manage all of the different facets of the on-field analysis teams and the playing staff and, you know, talking to Jurgen Klopp and everything else and the sports scientists and being able to get all that information, digest it all and feed that out into signings and stuff like that and contract renewals and everything else. Now, not only did he help Liverpool in the signings that we've made over the last few years, of which there are countless brilliant ones, you know, Andy Robertson being one of the better ones, and Alisson and Virgil van Dijk, and the list goes on and on and on, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, etc., etc. But he knows the inner workings of Liverpool Football Club, and this is where it comes down to sort of industrial espionage type shit, doesn't it? Is that, like, if you're taking one of Liverpool's brightest minds, all right, he's a year removed, that doesn't really help, does it? Because, you know, he's essentially just taught Julian Ward how to continue the job. The job won't have changed too much. If you're looking to try and get to where Manchester City are and where Liverpool have been over the last few years, one of the first signings you would make is someone who built that club up, because Manchester United are so far behind in terms of statistics, in terms of the stuff off the field, the training ground and everything else, that they need someone who knows how to build something. They haven't got time to build a model and it be wrong, because Manchester City and Liverpool just get further and further away, and now Arsenal are there as well. They're going to get further and further away from them while you're still going through the is this right phase and does this actually work. If you just get the guy who's done it, you're going to get there quicker. And with Manchester United's funds, limitless funds at times, not quite as Manchester City limitless, but with those funds and someone like Michael Edwards who can apply the numbers properly to it, then Manchester United can close the gap, and they've got the potential to not only close the gap but start getting ahead of the game again. You know, Manchester United's downfall came from the fact that, you know, everything was Sir Alex Ferguson, and, you know, once he went and, you know, he was able to get the best out of players no matter who they were, kind of thing. Once that left, they fell apart. You know, they were at the cutting edge of statistics when Prozone was in the Premier League 20 years ago or whatever it was, and they fell behind massively. They are now, I think, 10 years behind Liverpool in terms of the analytics side of the game. Manchester City are there or thereabouts with Liverpool. I don't know where Arsenal are, but they bought that stats DNA, didn't they? A couple of years back, I think it was. Josh was telling me the other day. So they're obviously on the hunt. Manchester United are nowhere by comparison to these clubs. And if they've got Michael Edwards, they can close that gap. I'm going to get into some of the comments and stuff now to see where everybody is up to. Someone who disagrees with me, which is absolutely fair game. John O'Chrissy doesn't know our inner workings because it's clear Klopp is moving away from that data model. Liverpool are changing their model, Moneyball and their data is leaving. Yeah, I suppose you are right in that regard. But like Manchester United are looking for it. Now, there's nothing to say that what we're moving towards is successful. What we can see is the evidence of the past being successful. And I suppose, yeah, you're right. They won't know the inner workings of Liverpool as of today. But he will know the inner workings of what made Liverpool successful, which I think was trying to get me point. It was my point, to be fair. Like, Michael Edwards, says Rachel Todd, would know the hate between Liverpool and Manchester United, and no, this is it. I don't really feel like it's a thing. I don't right now, but I hope to God it's not a thing. Is probably where I'm at. Here we go. Anfield Red says, I think we are going more for the eye test than the data-driven approach. And I'm okay with the eye test. Me and Paul and Steve had an absolutely brilliant discussion on this earlier on in the day, actually. The eye test works, of course it does, when you've got someone absolutely brilliant looking over it. But is Jürgen a scout? And who are the scouts? Is it still Barry and... Dave Fallows, is it Barry Hunter and Dave Fallows? I forget the names, apologies. Right now, we know that Klopp liked players like Julian Brandt and all that, and we didn't sign them, and we ended up with your Mo Salahs of this world and Sadio Mane's, and the data approach probably was the right approach in those regards. It's not to say that he wouldn't have made those other couple of players better and they wouldn't have been as good, but what we did see was the data approach did work. I think it's a step into the unknown with this, what seems like new way of doing things for Liverpool Football Club. So yeah, really, really, I don't know. I'm nervous about it, to be brutally honest. I like this one though. X_Ed channel. What if Edwards sabotages United? Game on, all day, baby. I will do that all day. I'm here for that. I am here for that. Let's have a look at this one. This is a good comment as well. And he's a hot commodity. He's got to do what's right for him. Liverpool or Manchester can't hate the man for furthering his career. No, but you can't you? We're Liverpool fans at the end of the day. Imran Zaman, hello mate. Any news on the owners? Not at the moment, actually. It's all gone quiet on the Western Front. I've not heard anything really new other than talks have been progressing is a line that I've read in places here and there. I don't know what that actually means in terms of how far Liverpool are along in the sale process. My immediate thought when it got announced was Liverpool are probably a little bit further along than we all thought. I think Liverpool only announced it because David Ornstein got wind of it. I think and I've talked about this before, but I do think that the statement that Liverpool came out with was a load of crap, to be honest with you. I think that was a pre-prepared statement that he'd had in the past that they'd used before, and they regurgitated because a journalist questioned them, and him being a good journalist actually used the statement even though it was fucking shit. They were caught with the pants down. It's now out in the open. That, I think, has had a domino effect on making Manchester United put theirs out in the open, because I think Manchester United was all getting done on behind closed doors type of thing. But then as soon as Liverpool were like, well, we're up for sale, Manchester United kind of had to go, well, we're up for sale as well. Because the pond that these clubs are in terms of owners is very, very small. It's going to be the same, probably maximum 10 names looking at both football clubs. And that's why, to be honest with you, that's why the podcast earlier today was such good fun. Because we had, I was going to say completely different opinions. Me and Steve had very similar opinions, but Paul had a completely different one. And I think that sometimes makes for the best content because of that. Because it's like, look, me and Paul have been watching footy together for near 25 years, something like that now. We think about the footy in very, very similar ways. He's a bit more narrative driven than I am, a lot more narrative driven than I am, but he's rubbed off on me as well that I do tend to like the stories. I'm a little bit more statsy and stuff like that. And I think, to be fair, I've probably rubbed off on him a little bit as well. Oh dear, bad use of words. Again, second time today. Anyway, Imran Zaman says, Chris, I think it'll be done early December. They must have negotiated months before any of us knew about it. Absolutely. Oh, fuck's sakes. I've done it again with the channel, with the comment. Would you take Pulisic? Said X_Z's channel. I saw a lot of people talking a lot of shit about Pulisic, and listen, I think he's a good player. I think he always plays well against Liverpool, and that's the eye test for me, isn't it? You know, what did he do against us? I think he's a bit of a handful. I don't think he's been managed right. I don't think he's probably ever really had a manager who wants to make him better and make him more impactful. They're always on the lookout for the next big thing, Chelsea, aren't they? Whether it's a Pulisic to begin with, and then it's somebody else, and it's a Werner and this and that. And so I think if you had a manager and a coach who wants to make them better, who puts trust into them, then you'd see a good Pulisic. Right now, he's not as good as Luis Diaz for me. He's nowhere near as good as Mo Salah. But with good coaching, could he be? Maybe. What's that? Yeah, rubbed me off. I know, honestly. Second time today. Ridiculous. I knew it was going to happen tonight as well. What are we thinking about Rice and Fabinho? Well, I really like Declan Rice and have done for a couple of years now, to be honest with you. Obviously, we did that show where I did the stupid dance to Aladdin or something at the start of last season, I think it was. And I thought he was a boss player. I think, you know, he's really, really good. I think you've seen over the course of this tournament at England that he can make the step up to play with better players around him. I think he's really good at winning the ball. I think he's more than just a defensive midfielder. I think he comes across like a leader as well. I'd be really happy, and he's got a bit of versatility to him as well. So yeah, I'd be really happy with someone like that coming into the football club. I believe I've missed the super chat as well, so I'm just going to try and find that. Joe, if you see that, mate, would you mind just pinning them? Thanks, mate, because that makes that easier, doesn't it? Chris, loving the show, was going to come in with a witty comment about the blue shirt, but hearing the story, I understand. Oh, mate, honestly, it's water off a duck's back. It's just frustrating at times. Thank you for the super chat as well. It's just frustrating at times that people think it's real. If people who know are having a joke about it and know that it's not true, fire away, mate. It's fucking there, wasn't it? It's in the ether. Payjack, would you rather risk losing Klopp at the end of his contract in order to build for a more sustainable future after him, or would you choose to please him and keep him longer to try and win more with him now, but risk the wheels falling off? Ooh, spoiler, when he leaves because we aren't ready. Would you rather risk losing Klopp at the end of his contract in order to build for a more sustainable future after him? I'll be honest, right, Steve? I know it's a would you rather, but I don't think it should be answered like a would you rather. For me, it's about making Klopp the future. And I had this thought the other day when I was doing that show mentioned with Josh Williams before. Why couldn't Klopp step up to be a director of football? He has the ability to work with players. He has the ability to work with coaches. He has the ability to take information on board from all different types of departments. He knows the club intrinsically inside and out. If it was something where, you know, he's done 7 years at Mainz, he's done 7 years at Dortmund, what will it take him up to? Will it be 9 years plus at Liverpool? You know, and he decides to walk away from being a full-time coach. Could you have anyone better as a director of football? Like, I know he doesn't know the numbers side of it quite like maybe a Michael Edwards and stuff like that, but if you're listening to those people and you're feeding that information back to the manager, maybe he could be the part of the future of Liverpool. Maybe it is just a boot room thing, but Jurgen becomes that link to us, the fans, to the data science department, to the coach, and can work well with somebody maybe like a Pep Linders if it was to be him as chosen as next. Regardless, even if it's not Jurgen Klopp stepping up into that type of a thing, if that's something that he'd even consider, you know, you've got to please him now, because he's the manager and he's absolutely superb. But that, I don't think Jurgen wants to step away and leave Liverpool in a worse place. I don't think anybody's saying that, to be honest. But yeah, for me, it's like, well, fucking hell. Let's do both. Let's make sure it's a sustainable future and let's make sure Klopp's happy. Those two things can absolutely coexist. What's it say about the situation we're in right now? Well, it probably says that we are leaning towards making Klopp happy if the rumours about Linders and him and having more power and more control are to be believed. Or maybe it's just the other way around. Maybe it's they are getting more power because the others are leaving. Again, we're in that grey area. It goes back to that earlier comment, doesn't it? As we don't know what's happening and the club aren't saying the same thing. So it's difficult. Let's see what CZ Red says. I was saying the same thing, Paige. It's like NFL here in the States. Plenty of coaches here running the game on the field and in the back room. What if Klopp is the manager and director of football for a while and then just transitions to director of football only? CZ Red, there you go, one of our club legends. Yeah, again, you know, it's like, who's that famous family there? Oh, I can't remember. It's all good. It's all good. Where are we now? We've got Steve tomorrow. We need to get questions in for Steve, do we, Joe?
Yes, we can vote on what topic you want him to talk about.
Oh, is it topic or question?
Anything.
Oh, right, okay. So we get some questions for Steve for tomorrow then. We've got, about 5 minutes left, I think, before we'll wrap this stream up. I want some questions that you want Mr. Steve Hoare to answer first thing tomorrow. Yeah, we did a very, 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 very bad job of that. While you get your questions in, I do just want to show off this jumper as well, though. And I'm just going to show off redmenmerch.com because we've got some brand new Christmas sweatshirts out, and you can see all 5 of them there. So Feliz Navidad, we've got the Crimbo jumper, we've got Scouse Not English, and we've got Last Christmas as well. Let me just show you this Crimbo sweatshirt because it's friggin' boss, right? It's available in multiple colours. So you can see there, Feliz Navidad, European royalty, Crimbo, success has many fathers. It's available in red, it's available in ecru, it's available in a goldy sort of yellow colour, heather grey of course, and just a straight up grey right now. This jumper is fit. It is absolutely fit as fuck. It's 28 quid. You need to get over there, get yourself dripping in Red Men swag for your Christmas parties. If you don't like the cut of that, it's fine. We've got plenty more for you. We've got the Last Christmas one. We've also got kids jumpers. So if you want to rock the same Feliz Navidad as your kid, you can do that now. It's redmenmerch.com. Why would you not want to do that? Who wouldn't want to be a Feliz Navidad jumper twin buddy with the kid? It's just an obvious thing. Everyone's always thinking it. Always. Right. Oh, we've got a few. Okay. Can I have a poll? Is this possible?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like... Bailey's 22. He ordered the Christmas jumper last night. Well, he lid. Love that. Love it, my friend. Okay. Fuentino. The Believer's jumper goes hard. Indeed it does. Okay, we've got Rachel Todd's.
Mm-hmm.
How many options?
4.
What is Steve's favourite Christmas song?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've got Stephen Ryder. Does he polish his head?
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer.
Steve Ryder saying I've got too many kids for that. Have we got any more questions there?
Who has a better head, him or Pep?
Okay, we've got LFC Spectre. Why do you hate Ozan Kabak so much?
Okay.
And, okay. Alex Campanelli. That's a great name, Alex. Congratulations. Whose head is better, Steve or Pep?
Poll is live.
Poll's live. Get yourself voting in the comments, please, people. Love that. Love it. So there you go. Have we done all the news stories? I think we've done pretty much all the news stories. We've got one more news story to do. We'll do it quickly. Inside FSG's 240 million Anfield plan as naming rights deal could hand new owners major boost. So this story really is talking about obviously the Anfield Road stand. It was talking about how the fact that Liverpool did start to think about naming rights for the main stand when it was open back in 2016. But they decided not to do it. They decided to try and get money through the corporate boxes and sell the names of them and things like that. But it's also up for discussion that the Anfield Road stand could get naming rights. It'd be quite interesting to see if there's something like the AXA training complex is done on the Anfield Road stand. I don't know whether this is true or not. So I'm going to ask all of you guys: is there a ground in the world that has sponsored stands? Does anybody know that? I'm sure there probably is. It sounds like something a football team would obviously do. But it would be a bit mad, wouldn't it? Like, obviously, you've got the Kenny Dalglish stand, you've got the main stand, you've got the Cop, and then you might have, like, the Dunkin' Donuts stand. It's a bit fucking weird, isn't it? Like, but if it brings in more money, and it means they stop the stupid things of trying to get into the European Super League, then would you be up for it? Barcelona has Spotify. I thought Spotify was...
That's the whole stadium, yeah.
I thought it was the whole stadium as well. Is it? Or is it just the stand?
Yeah, it is. It's the Spotify Nou Camp.
Yeah, Spotify Nou Camp, okay. So there we go. So that's different. That would be... Yeah, it would be like the AXA Anfield or something like that, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Or John Smith Stadium or whatever those ones are.
Hitch and Baz, member for 28 months, says, does that mean we could get a Redmen TV stand?
Yeah, we haven't got the money. Look, this is why. No YouTube. So there you go. Have we got the poll? Has it been answered?
Yeah.
What's the results, my friend?
By far and away, does he polish his head?
Oh, I mean, I think he does. But we'll let's answer that tomorrow. 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Tomorrow evening. Thank you so much for joining me. That's been really good fun. I've really enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Does he polish his head? 50%. Well in, everyone. Legends. Is it too late to order a Christmas jumper to Ships Island? No. 3rd of December, I think, is the last date if you want it in time for Christmas. So yeah, go over to redmanmerch.com. Damn it. Patrick Westmore says we should have 2 stands named Redmen and Tour. I'd fucking love that. Wouldn't that be a fucking dream to have a stand that we could afford to pay for, but I just don't think we have the money, or we ever will have the money. It is what it is, unfortunately. But thank you so much for joining me. That has been really, really good fun. Can't wait to do the next one next week. It's Steve tomorrow. It's Paul on Thursday. Couple of days break. Then Paul back on Sunday, and we'll work out next week.
It's also producer Aaron tomorrow.
Oh!
The new producer who I've been training up, and he's
PA?
doing really well.
Producer Aaron.
Yeah,
he's fitting really nicely, actually, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's really
a nice
good.
lad, man.
Yeah.
So really, really pleased with that. Obviously, be nice to producer Aaron tomorrow night. I'm sure Aaron will have that room tidied. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you, Joe, of course. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for the World Shitters watch along for 45 minutes earlier on during the England game. Can't believe I didn't get to write anything on the YouTube members board. Where's? Oh.
Next time,
mate.
Everybody, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a like on the way out. Did you know you could get some hoodies, t-shirts and any accessories from redmenmerch.com? So head on over there now and grab yourself some.